Rod Ovid here, bringing you another Take 5 meditation, something we try to do once a day. Also bring you the 1-minute Daybreak Devo. We have a lot of things that we are putting together. We have a number of studies, we have sermons, we have all types of word studies, Greek words, things that we have been compiling and will be available on our app very soon. And a lot of it is out on iTunes, Facebook, a YouTube channel, GodTube, and you can just look up Logos Institute for Biblical Studies and we'll be there. Today I'd like to share something with you. It's used throughout the Scriptures quite a bit. We call them the one another verses. And it's very easy to see in the New Testament that Christianity is to be shared, and Christianity is to be a one another religion. We walk together, bear each other's burdens, we walk together, share the load, we fellowship together. It's very much a situation where we serve Christ together. In fact, the very word for peace means unity. We work together. A key verse for this is found in Galatians 6, verses 1 through 5. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ. And he talks a little bit more, and at the end of a few verses, he says, then he can take pride in himself without comparing himself to somebody else, for each one should carry his own burden. And that seems a little confusing to some. At the beginning it says carry one another's burdens, and at 5 verses later it says each should carry their own burden. But actually there's some differences in the words there, and I'd like to explain that. Carry is batadzo, and bastadzo means to carry or support. And again, this word is used a lot throughout our New Testament. We're to support one another. We're to be a support system, to carry one another's burdens, to lift each other up. And when he says carry each other's burdens, there he uses the word boros. And boros is one of those words interpreted by the way it's used many times, but for the most part, boros means a heavy load, a load that is too heavy for any one person to bear alone. And so you get this picture of someone struggling under an unbearable load. And so as believers and brothers and sisters, we're told to go over, get right up to them, support them, help them carry this load. At the end of that portion, where he says each should carry his own load, uses the same word for carry, bastadzo, but he changes the word load there, and he uses fortion. Fortion is basically the description of a knapsack or a little lunch or something lightweight. Something that everyone carries. And so there are those things that all of us are to carry in our lives, but for the most part, when it comes to heavy situations, as brothers and sisters, we help one another out. Now, there are tons of verses. In fact, I have 57 verses listed that we call the one another's of the New Testament. Be at peace with one another, wash one another's feet, love one another, be devoted to one another in brotherly love, honor one another, live in harmony with one another. Stop passing judgment on one another. Accept one another. Instruct one another. Greet one another. It goes on and on. Have equal concern for one another. Greet one another. Serve one another in love. Be patient, bearing with one another. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other. Speak to one another with psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs. Submit to one another. Do not lie to each other. Forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Teach one another. Admonish one another. It's quite a list. Like I said, there's 57 of them. So you get the hint that we are to be aware and cognizant of each other. That's what fellowship's all about. And we can be thankful that God is that concerned about us. He sees us. He knows us. He knows all about us, and His Holy Spirit is indeed a comforter to help us in all situations. You are not alone. That you can depend on. So today, tomorrow, when you look out among a sea of people you know, be on the lookout for those heavy burdens. Perhaps you can go up to someone and say, "Here, let me help you carry it." Why? Because Christ carried our burdens all the way to the cross. And we are to be imitators of Christ. So think about that today. Ask God to show you situations where you can help others. and therefore we can together fulfill the law of Christ. Have a blessed day.